Hello there, everybody. My name is Michael, and I'm going to be continuing this playthrough of Dark Souls 2. Now, we have all 4 of the Lord Souls now, and we could go to the castle and continue on with the second half of the game. But there are some things that I forgot to do. One of them is to mention that is an obnoxious troll item that you shouldn't bother with at all. And I tried many times to get, and I'm angry that I didn't get it for a long while, and then I was angry when I got it. Anywho, there are also other items like that, like in the Iron Keep. There is some items on some lava rocks that are a bit of a troll there. Well, you can get kind of a cool shield there. But one of the biggest things I missed was a boss, and that was a good old-fashioned Chariot boss. And this boss I deliberately did not go to. I didn't forget about it, because he's very tough and kind of confusing and difficult. And when I originally went in here, it was like the Smelter Demon. I went in there and I assumed, hey, this is a boss. You gotta beat him, right? I thought that this guy was one of the 4 giant souls, actually, when I went in through this area. And I was stunned when I found out that he was not one of the 4 souls. And in fact, the other one, the Iron King was so much easier, in fact. This guy is really, really tricky. And before I head up here, I have to mention, when you go to fight him, make sure to bring a bunch of alluring skulls. At least 10 or so. Or if you are a sorcerer, to bring along the spell Yearn, which has a similar effect to the alluring skull. He is right up there in that Colosseum-like area. And we're going to get a whip right over here. So if you want to cosplay as Simon Belmont, you can go ahead. Notched whip, I think it does bleeding damage. Whips are dex weapons. And this guy, I'm going to talk more about him in a bit, but he is horrifying. It was so difficult when I first came here. It was brutal. I don't even know how many times I went there, but I actually despawned all of the enemies on the path up there, so that's like more than 10 times, which is pretty sad, especially because I kind of knew the gimmick, sort of. There are a bunch of guys here on trees that are going to jump out and try to kill you. I don't know exactly what these guys are holding. I think you can get this weapon, and it's like some sort of weird ritual staff or something like that. I don't even know exactly. Look at, it's a very inelegant position to be splayed in. He's bandaged up there. That's kind of weird. But don't just run in here. Try to aggro them one at a time. And this boss, jeez, figuring it out was crazy. He's actually using a special whip there called the Bloodied Whip or Bloody Whip. And it's a very rare drop. I don't know if I've ever even gotten it. Not that I've tried, because, whips are not terribly useful. I think there's 2 guys that spawn here, maybe? Or is that just in New Game Plus? I don't know. These guys kind of remind me of the way they stand and move, a little pyramid head. But, I mean, not move, the way that... there are 2 guys here, just kind of their general body size and shape. I don't know why. Maybe I'm crazy to think that. And they're dropping a lot of cracked red eye orbs. This is the Invasion Covenant area. So if you want to be invading, you want to be that guy, this is the place where you want to go. I think this is totally unnecessary, and I hate this, but there is a red phantom standing out here. Why? Does this... it's already a brutally difficult boss. Why you gotta do that? This is one guy that I would hold up as a definite prospect for poisoning, because he's using a great sword, he has a great shield, he is right in front of a really tough area, and he is just, he's begging for some toxic mist to be poured in his face. Occasionally he can actually drop a great shield plus 3 or 4, I think. Now this next area, the Chariot boss, and I have to talk a little bit about this, he is in a gigantic circular arena, and he's constantly running around the circle. And what we have to do is run to a specific point far to the left in the center of this ring, where we can pull a lever and a huge gate will crash down, and he will smash into the gate. And when he does that, we can fight him proper. because it's actually the two horses pulling the chariot that are the actual demon, the actual boss that we have to fight. And yeah, it's just difficult, because as you're trying to do this, there are a ton of skeletons in the room spawning trying to kill you. And these skeletons, not only that, these skeletons are being resurrected by hollow priests or mages or something nearby, just like the necromancers in the catacombs in DS1. So when you head on in there, you have to be very, very careful to use these alluring skulls to get the skeletons to run away from you, so you can hide in little crevices in the wall as the chariot boss runs by. And it's going to constantly keep running around in a circle, running around. And every time it comes by you as it's running around, you gotta run and hide in the hole and wait and hope the skeletons are still attracted to the alluring skull. As you slowly kill all 3, is it? Or is it just 2 of those necromancers? And gradually all of the skeletons then move your way over to the place where you pull the lever, and then when you do, you can fight the actual boss. As I said, this took me, I don't know, 15, 20 times. I'm not a bright man. But as I said, the Souls games are worth it, so you should play them. Here you see him pulling up the gate. This is actually one of the best designed bosses. He really feels super challenging. And as I said, it's not really him. That isn't the boss. The horse is the boss. Now let us go in here. You see the skeletons are about to spawn. Throw an alluring skull. Watch them go over to it. Ooh, can we get there in time? Oh my dear sweet lord, I can't believe we actually made that. This could be bad, because the skeletons are coming. Nope! Yes. See it? See it? See the skull? You want that skull, don't you? Now, these guys are linked to that first necromancer, and I'm sorry if I'm going so fast, it's just that I kind of have to, oh god, I'm getting turned around here, jeez. None of these items are useful, but like I said, I'm getting kind of turned around, I'm not sure where to go. Now, the chariot obviously will hurt the skeletons themselves, so you have to kind of use that in order to play the game. And we just have to go kill the other necromancer. I don't think we're going to be able to make it there in time now. No, we did. Good. Good, and they are dead. So now we can just worry about the skeletons. And then we can head back here. Gotta make sure you get all the skeletons. You don't want them popping up when you're trying to fight the boss. Because the boss may lead you back here during the fight. I think this is the last one. These guys can parry you, by the way. Just to be careful about that. Just kind of keeping it safe here. Now the actual boss, those 2 horses, is actually fairly challenging. Because he can kick from behind, sort of like a mule, and hurt you while you're if you try to go around it. And he can hit for pretty hard. And he also has a magic attack that is a sort of spray of dark magic that he shoots out at you that you have to be aware of. But other than that, he doesn't have a lot of health. This is kind of interesting when we see this. That jackass put that message there. I hate that. Do not stand too close to the gate, because the gate will rocket forward and break off and hit you, and that can do a lot of damage. So now we see we can get a hit off, I think. Yes, we can. He took a little damage during that fight. And we're getting a fair amount of damage on him. Ooh. Yeah, that thing's hard to dodge. You have to wait right until the last moment. I think it was right at that one last moment where he was about to hit there. Oh, he's doing the spray. And this spray is difficult because he can, it does a lot of damage, And like I said, it's a spray. It's not one specific hit. But we got him. Again, we have an amazing weapon. I pull no punches with this guy. He's a jackass. He deserves to be hurt. The Executioner's Chariot Soul can actually get us our very first lance weapon. And the lancers are a unique class of weapons that were not in Demon's Souls or Dark Souls 1. And I really like them, although they're pretty tough to fight, and I do not like to see red phantoms carrying them. Speaking of red phantoms, let's go up and talk to Titchy Gren. If the words Titchy or Gren mean anything to anyone, well, they are lost on me. This is a bonfire setting, maybe? Oh, hell. There's an item back behind there that light this bonfire. And I remember in the demo, or the beta, it was like a great shield, and I came back here and was like, oh man, am I gonna get this? And it's like, no. A cracked red eye orb. And we can go join the Invasion Covenant, and I think I probably will. It doesn't really matter when you join these covenants, really, in any of these games, because you can always leave them pretty quickly and then just go back. I don't think there's a covenant that really penalizes you for anything, unlike in DS1, where there is. But let's talk to Titchy Gren, this little fellow here.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. Do you have a lust for blood? Yes, of course. Why else would you be here? Do you give yourself to Nar Alma? Then you will need blood. Oh, lots of it. Undead blood, like your own. But it's not as easy as you think. Well, what do you say? Join the Brotherhood of Blood? That can hardly be the whole story. I want to hear what you really think. You want more than just a little blood. You want to be drenched in blood, mired in its foul stench, am I right? Am I? Oh, just say that I'm right. Huh? I knew it. I knew it. Fantastic. You're the best. Now you are a servant of Nar Alma. This crest of blood is yours. There. Another servant of blood is born. You.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about his voice actor. It sounds sort of weird and distant, and why does he talk like that? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, why is he even talking like that? It's so odd, and why is he a little guy? Now, I don't usually do invasions, but he does have some interesting stuff that you can get, like the Great Scythe, which is a really good, which was one of the best dex weapons in DS1. And I've never actually used in this game because I overused it in the first game. And you can actually purchase the armor of the skeleton lord guys that we fought a long time ago before we got to Harvest Valley. This allows you to be invaded more often, so that can be kind of neat. And this is very useful. You can leave an invasion sign, which means that you will enter into another person's world as a hostile invader. You also get a bunch of cool pyromancies here. And as you rank up in the Brotherhood of Blood, I almost said Brotherhood of Blood, you will... Damn these spoonerisms. Is that what that is? Oh, maybe. And you can get more cool pyromancies. I don't think I have much of a use for him until maybe later on when I come back to get the Executioner's armor, which is a really cool barbarian-looking set. And I'm going to make an attempt to do something here, but it involves jumping. So you know what that means. I'm going to be extra cautious, and if I don't make it, fuck it. I don't care. I'm not going back. I don't really need the thing that's down there. Doesn't matter that much, but I'm going to try it anyway. It is the final sublime bone dust that we can get down there. However, like I said, I think maybe a fire seed or something. Oh, we got a falchion from one of those skeletons. That's neat. And what else is there? Is that it? I think so. Afterwards, we're going to pop back to the Shaded Ruins and go talk to our... Ooh, I almost jumped off the edge there. I should mention there are a bunch of ways to actually fight this boss that do not involve what I just did. You can actually stand here, and if you're a spell user, hit him with spells as he passes, and that will damage him. However, it takes quite a while to do that. It takes a heck of a long time to do, and I don't really like to do it. It just takes too damn long. Alright, let's try to make this jump. Lord, let me make this. Fuck. Oh, God. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just exhausted. And like I said, I don't give a damn about what's over there. I really, really don't care. And, I think I'm just going to head back to the Shaded Woods and show you the entrance to the area that we're about to go to, which is, of course, the dun-dun-dun-dun castle with a 50% mark. And it involves going to an area called the Shrine of Winter. And we're also going to talk to Vengarl and get that stuff, because I want to get his sword. Because it is mad cool. And I think he actually has two swords that he sells here. His regular red rust sword, but also the red rust scimitar. But the scimitar does not really... It has kind of poor scaling. It looks kind of neat. It reminds me of the curved swords that we would see in... I think I could see in the Savage Sword of Conan that were drawn by them, by maybe Frank Frazetta or something. But like I said, the regular red rust sword is really cool. Let's see. Let's talk.
Again. It is my body, you see, and I can sense what happens to it. I do not mourn for it. Good riddance. If you wish for help, summon me. I'm rusty in battle, but will fight by your side.
Yeah, because we defeated his body, we can now summon him into some fights later on in the game. He's very useful as a distraction, but as an actual damage dealer, not so much. He does not use the red rust sword, the good sword. He actually uses the crummy scimitar, so maybe that's why he's so shit at it. You can also get his shield, but look at it's so terrible. 100 physical, nice. Stability, okay. Everything else, 10 on all of these reductions. So it's shit. Don't even bother with that. And in the next area on the way to the Castle Drangleic, we are going to fight some more of those nutmen, and I believe get a Ring of Life Protection. And this is the way you want to go to get to the Shrine of, not the Shrine, the, whatchamacallit, Crown of the Ivory King boss. Not boss, DLC area. These guys can drop cestus, I think club, longsword. I don't know if we can get whatever weapon they're using there, that mixture of weird bone and poison and things like that, but we should, because it looks kind of cool. Let me just show you the red rust scimitar. See, it looks kind of neat. But it doesn't have the scaling of the regular scimitar. Huh. Is that what I think that was? Oh. I'm not sure about that. The strong attack. Is that even an attack? It looks like, what is he doing there? This guy, I think, throws rocks at you. You gotta watch out for him. Yeah, I guess it's an attack of some kind. But I was thinking of going, maybe trying to make like this and a weird bone catalyst, and going as kind of a necrolite from Warcraft 1, if anybody remembers that. If you think that this would look like a necrolite with this sword, because I was looking in I still have the manual for the original Warcraft, and the necrolites kind of use this big wicked-looking curved sword like that. Is that real life protection here? I don't think you can jump down. Well, maybe you can. I've never tried to jump down there. It doesn't sound like a good idea, though. And over here we have to fight another boss, the Flexile... not a boss, but he was a boss in the Viking level. We have to fight the Flexile Sentry. He also has an absurd aggro range, because he will stop. I mean, he's not even noticing us, so we can just kill him with arrows like this. And I think he will only run to about this point here, and then he'll just go back. He's not going to follow you very far, so he's pretty pathetically easy. Yeah, I don't think we can get that armor. And he always drops a piece of Twinkling Titanite, so it's fun to come here and get it from him. Alrighty. Let's kill this guy. Way back in the olden days of the game, there is a weird glitch that I was never able to successfully pull off because it involves jumping again. And what people could do is they were able to somehow run from here and jump over to here, and then maybe run along here, maybe jump over here. You can see somebody was able to jump over there and put that message there. And you can actually jump like around there and completely bypass the Shrine of Winter, negating any need to to defeat the 4 Lord Souls at the beginning of the game. And you can just run along over there. I don't know how people figure that out. That is amazing. I could never have figured that out on my own. That just seems almost impossible that they could have done that. It really is very impressive. However, I think they patched it and you can't do it anymore. That was used in speed runs a lot. And here we have the Shrine of Winter. What exactly is written on these walls, I do not know. It is mysterious to me. Is it related to Dark Souls 1 in some way? What are these etchings? It's kind of hard to tell what's there. I mean, that looks like there are several places that look like dragons and people, so maybe it's relating the ancient history of Dark Souls 1, maybe? Or maybe the ancient history that we heard about at the beginning of Dark Souls 1. And these things here are recurring in the DLC areas. They are strange snakes, but their heads have been chopped off. This is probably an oblique reference to the primordial serpents of Dark Souls 1. These were strange, nefarious creatures that were apparently doing some sort of manipulation of the main character, forcing them to continue the cycle of fire and darkness. And unfortunately the heads have come off, so that's tantalizing. We don't really know what they looked like, because the heads would be a dead giveaway. And they're also, the serpents are also erect. They're standing vertically here, just like the ones the primordial serpents did in Dark Souls 1. This is also how you get to that Ivory Crown boss, but we're not going there right now. By the way, I just picked up 2 items that I have actually never used in this game, which is kind of a shame, because, I mean, why not, right? Why shouldn't I use them? We have the Dragon Slayer Crescent Axe, I believe, and the Golden Falcon Shield. And this has another one of those ridiculous movesets that I was way tired of at this point. I think it has a better two-handed moveset. Yeah, it's a lot better two-handed. It has split physical and lightning damage. It doesn't have much in the way of stats. Interesting character here is talking about Lothian of Ferusa. Kind of a neat character. And the shield here, this just looks ridiculous. This is not a shield. This is a joke. I've never used this. I never would use it. Doesn't matter what the stats are. It looks ridiculous. It actually doesn't look that it has terribly bad stats. But, well, let's just say in New Game Plus there's a reason to hate those goddamn falconers. So, let's check down here and we can get the spell Repair, which repairs your weapons, obviously. It is inexcusably stupid that this, what should be a basic spell that you should be able to get early on, is locked away until the 50% point of the game. That is really dumb, inexcusable, like a lot of crap in Dark Souls 2, and I'm pissed off at it. I really am pissed off at that. You can get that in Dark Souls 1 right after you beat the Hydra, and you can get to that very quickly. And here we have our third and unfortunately final Hide Knight. And this guy will drop the Hide Lance when we kill him. And let's just... Sorry to finish you off so quickly there, Pally. And let's take a look at the Lance weapon. This is not the best lance in the game. That one you can get at the very end of the game. It's called the Grand Lance, and it looks amazing. And you can see it has some spear features to it. This one looks like a spear. The other lances do not look like spears. They look like thicker, heavier versions of spears. But that's the basic attack you can see here. It sort of looks like the thrust of a spear, but it's slower. And you can sort of hold it under your arm, like it was an actual lance that you would hold under your arm to strike an enemy if you were on horseback. And the heavy attack is this, the signature move of the lance, the charge attack. And this can be very devastating because you can get essentially multiple hits on an enemy. And you're left a little off balance with it. This one doesn't have the best moveset unlike the Grand Lance. But, yeah. It is really, really cool. That's a cool move. If you hit an enemy on a fully upgraded Grand Lance one-handed with this attack, then the slap follow-through, they're almost certainly gone, even New Game Plus. And it's just a really cool class of weapons. This actually looks a little bit like a pilot, more like than a lance, but still, it looks pretty cool. Does it have the spike on the butt section of it? Yes, it does. And it's just a really cool weapon. I love that these are in the game. The Chariot lance scales with strength, but it doesn't look as good. It looks sort of wicked and odd, and doesn't really necessarily match my image of a lance that a knight would use. And this next area we're going to go through doesn't make a whole lot of sense that we can see. There's clouds here. There's nothing much there. We can see the castle in the background, which looks devastatingly awesome. And we go through this little tunnel. It reminds me of the little tunnels near the, that you go through in the subway. We used to pass through this a lot here. This little subway tunnel thing, that's what it reminds me of. And we have 3 royal swordsmen to kill before we actually reach the section of the castle we want to go to. Do not mistake these guys for the pathetic ones we fought near the Lost Sinner. These guys are tough. They will take a lot of damage, and they'll give a lot of damage. Usually I can't hit this guy a 3rd time before he hits me. And there's another one there. There's also one to their right. Did I get him? Nope, still has a sliver of health. That's frustrating. Can we one-shot them? No, we cannot. Definitely cannot. And there's also a ton more of these guys in the actual castle area. Which makes sense, because, you know, they're supposed to be royal swordsmen, so I figured they'd be there to protect the king. And you know what this means. It's great club time. You know what we're going for. And a little item back here. And let's see if we can get him. Oh, I see you. Yes, we did. He didn't have a chance. This is a guaranteed drop of 3 Titanite chunks and 1 slab. According to one of the writers of the guide, Epic Name Bro, the designers expect you to have a plus 10 weapon at this point of the game. So they're expecting you to have that. So they're just giving you one last shot to go plus 10 your weapon for this next area. And the Emerald Herald has weirdly showed up here. She'll weirdly show up in a couple of other areas. This was very shocking when I first saw this. Like, I never expected to see her outside of Majula, but here she is. and she will say no more. Now, when I got to this point in the game, I suddenly was sold once again on the story. It looks incredible. I love this castle. I love the rain. It wasn't raining before, but it's raining now. But things like that happened in DS1. And just the torches and the huge staircase and the shady dark night with the moon back there and the weird black castle. It looks like it's made out of obsidian or something. It just looks absolutely amazing. But I'm going to call it an episode right here. And I will start on the next 50% of the game on the next episode, guys, and I will see you then. But until then, in the dark of night, praise the sun.